Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode here in the fun-filled greenhouse. We've done a couple of little things before I hit the old record button. The first things first is I added a little bit of automation to this. And the reason why is I don't know what would happen, but it seems rather dangerous to shoot radiation bolts, rad bolts, you know, the lightning of Thor. I don't know what you want to call it. At this level, it looks like it would come in direct contact with a dupe. What got me concerned is when you click on this awesome atomic collider, it doesn't say how much the max is. And I've heard rumors and read little rumors that those rad bolts can actually hit people. So in the effort to keep our dupes alive, we put some automation on it. So I think all we'll have to do is just hit the on. And there it went. Far too fast for us to see. I'll slow it down in editing, hopefully. And now it looks like we've got 47 rad bolts. So I'm guessing research will occur. Let's go to the research screen. And there it is. Renewable energy. Our solar panels are on the way. Beautiful. I also updated some skills. And you'll notice that we've left Little J with a skill point and Guar. I've thought about Guar going into a little bit of critter ranching as well, and that way we could maybe collect more of the shine bugs to increase our atomic energy output, but I didn't want to push him past 9. I did do that on Jordan Sparkman. As you can see, Jordan's got the 2 improved carries, and I went all the way out to hazmat digging, so I'm going to need to keep an eye on that because he's only hitting 14 on the morale and has a requirement of 13, so we're going to need to be careful there. The other one's Otto. He now has second grilling 2, so he's now a master chef as well, and he's earned his stripe. The rest will probably leave them and start generating some extra points in case we need something here and there. Oh, actually, in Mima got her point into doctoring, which she's going to wear her doctoring hat. And the reason why is because we are sending dupes in this little radiation chamber. So I'm not sure if they'll get radiation sickness or whatnot. So I need to make sure that we are prepared for that in any case. So to start with, we'll probably set up a little medical office. Looks like this is as good of an area as any, huh? So we'll put the medicine. Where's the apothecary? Oh, there it is. Beautiful. It takes power, so we'll just put it right over here. And I don't think we have to worry about too much on the beds or anything because I just want them to be able to create some pills. You know, the pills that cure like food poisoning, hypothermia, Okay, why did I really say dig that up? I don't believe I said dig that up. Oh, there must have been dirt there still. I must have missed it. Very good. Building lacks oh, there's Little J doing the research. Way to go, Little J. Absorbed radiation. Not too shabby. And once that is complete, we'll have enough and we'll go put our solar panel up on the roof. Way up here. And we're going to turn this into some sort of solar factory. I don't know what all we're going to do yet or what we're even going to have the amount of glass to do, but at least to get us some more sustainable power. Might as well core all this out too. Some polluted ice. That could come in handy. I don't know how long this will stay cold up here though. With all the debris up here, I'm assuming for a pretty long time. We'll just extend this out, and just while they're bored, you know? In fact, we'll also hit a mass priority. We'll hit a priority of 3, and we'll just go all the way down. So now, they'll only dig in this when they absolutely have nothing to do. Very nice. Are we done with our research yet? No, we're out of rad bolts. Alright, we're at 8 of 50 here. So once we get queued up again, we'll launch it. I also thought about maybe it would help if we actually gave these fine folks, some bristleberry, huh? Put a little bristleberry plant in here, and they will go and eat the bristleberry. Look at this little guy, a sage hatchling. Eventually, these hatches are going to have to be culled. We didn't want to necessarily farm the meat, but if we get some by happenstance, I guess it'd be good to have the extra. We're down to 62,000 muckroot. We've got a ton of muckroot, but our pickled meal keeps going up and up. So our little experiment with the bristle blossom inside of our little solar chamber did not work. Unfortunately, it's too warm up here. It is already 55 degrees. I'm sure that has to do a little bit with the radiation and also this giant cool steam vent. But just in case, I'm going to double insulate this for now. We don't want any of that heat coming over as much as we can, you know, withstand. It also doesn't look like with this insulated tile, much of the radiation is coming through. So I'm assuming, see how this right now it says 2 rads per cycle. So I'm wondering how much it actually reduces it when we put up more insulation. Or if the radiation just doesn't even care about it. It looks like it did a little bit. Notice we got about 2 bars, barely a third down here. It might be hard to see, but we'll see how that works afterwards. Now that we're complete, it does look like it cut it in about half. Even with the shine bugs down low, you can see it says 1 rads per cycle, you know, and it goes down here, whereas it used to be kind of like 3 deep, now it's only 2 deep. I'm guessing it's somewhat effective. It'd probably be more effective if this wasn't sandstone. I'm not sure how that works, but it's good for now. Just to make everything even, we're going to add another door too. It looks like our oxygen's doing much better now, so I think we're going to actually just remove this guy, and that way the carbon dioxide doesn't just sit and bellow up here. It'll float down here into our carbon sink until we have enough power to run a beautiful carbon skimmer. So we'll just put a regular door there, pneumatic door, lets the gases and the liquids come through. So taking a look at the completed apothecary, the basic rad pill removes 100 rads per cycle, and it lasts 1 cycle, so it's going to remove 100 rads. So us worrying about, you know, 1 or 2 rads here and there, I don't think is going to matter much. So that's good to know. So we'll wait until we see 30, 40, 50 rads in our dupes, and then we'll start throwing it. Maybe we'll just wait till we get sick, you know, for science. We started running into the power outages again, probably because this oxygen diffuser started lighting up, so it's using a lot more power consistently. So we're going to add another coal generator here. Not a big deal, just something to make sure that that battery gets charged quick enough. So you can see here, we're starting to get some stifling here with the bristle blossoms on this far side. My guess is it's coming from the heat off the rock crusher. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this rock crusher a bit over here. And that should help at least a little bit. We will see if it starts dropping temperature here. But once the temperature gets up there, you really don't have much to reduce its temperature. Another small change is we're starting to build out a small power plant over here. Once this water gets drained, we'll then add our carbon sink. And this is going to be our backup to our solar array. So anytime the solar array batteries run out, we'll have some sort of backup. And because it's just a backup, we won't have to worry too much about coal. We'll always have a little bit, which is kind of the benefit of having a little bit of hatches running around, you know. You know, they'll eat what they can every once in a blue moon and poop out some coal, which will give us enough power for our backup solution. Once I get this finished up, I'll show you how we've done. All right, so moving the rock crusher did work. Both bristle blossoms, that actually took me 3 times. I just edited out the first 2. That would have been torture to your ears. Are growing again. Unfortunately, our mealwood up here has now been stifled. It's kind of back and forth. So what we're going to do is just add some more insulation. In fact, there's no reason to get them come in over here. So we're just going to double insulate that entire side. And then we're going to insulate this some more as well. Who knows? We'll see. All right, our nice little power plant is up and running. All right, the way this works is pretty simple. We have our standard coal generators here, 600 watts each. Keeps this battery going into a transformer. This transformer is actually running to the main part of our base, which means we can actually get rid of these manual generators here. They are no longer needed. That is good. And then here, to take care of all the carbon dioxide that our base produces and that these coal generators produce, we have the standard water sieve carbon skimmer setup. Let me show you how that works. Some of these are pretty old news these days, but there are a lot of new players in our game, so it's good to go over it every once in a while. Remember the water that was sitting down here? Well, we just used it to prime the water sieve, right? So, and the carbon skimmer. The carbon skimmer takes fresh water and it cleans the carbon dioxide and outputs polluted water. Well, the water sieve then takes the polluted water and turns it into clean water. And so that's what you're seeing going round and round. It is a zero net loss or gain of water, so it just stays there, keep doing its thing. The only thing you need to keep feeding the water sieve with is with sand, and it works like a charm. And as you can see, what used to be billows and billows of carbon dioxide, it just ate very quickly. Now it will off gas, or the water sieve will produce some polluted dirt, which we then send down right into our wonderful storage bin, protected under our clean water, as ironic as that is. Since we're starting to use sand as part of the core function of our base, we're going to go ahead and add it to our resources that we constantly keep an eye on. And as you can see, I've added glass here because we're about to build a solar power plant. We have our water here. That's all the good ones that we need to keep an eye on before we start getting in trouble. In other good news, the double insulated tile has actually helped the mealwoods. We're back down to under 30 degrees, and the mealwood is continuing to grow. We're also working on a little oxygen mask station. Now, I'm not in love with this process. We're not going to be using these for too killing long, but basically, my assumption is this is mostly just regular oxygen, right? So we're going to pick up the regular oxygen from here and just slide it over into this oxygen mask docks, which are being supplied by this wonderful craft station. We produced 3 oxygen masks. You can see them there ready. And when the time comes, we're just going to seal this up. And the only way they'll be able to get in and out of the base is through here. And that way they have enough oxygen to make it all the way up here. And we don't have to continuously use up our algae on oxygenating the rest of the base. Now, it goes without being said, I could run a filter in this system here to make sure that it's only oxygen getting in here, but I'm not too killing concerned about it. If some carbon dioxide and stuff gets in here, in fact, I may even put another, yeah, see, there's a little bit of carbon dioxide right there, so it's going to hurt one of these docks. So I may end up putting another tile here and here, and then raising this gas pump. And that way the carbon dioxide does come in here, it'll sink to this bottom. We'll see. All right, we're going to see how this setup works. I've got them closing it in now, so the only way to come in and out is through this door here. The oxygen masks are filling up now. In fact, we already got one taker up there. And this little tile will be used. It was going to be used. So whenever carbon dioxide comes in through here, it'll most likely sit down and go through here instead of coming all the way and then trying to bump up here and then trying to get to this part of the, to where the oxygen's sitting. Because as you can see right now, it's mostly just oxygen that comes up here anyways. So we'll see if that's going to work for now, and we don't have to pay the filter cost to filter out oxygen from everything else. So we'll see how this works. And one thing I definitely wanted to do, this is not necessarily going to be our main throughway, but it's going to be for at least a long time, the way people are coming and going. So I wanted to add some poles here to make it easier for the dupes to come up and down. In fact, would it be better just to move this now? Let's see, where would this come down? Right next to it. So I think that'll work. What we'll do is, since we've cleared all that out, we'll just make this the main run now. And then we will add a giant fire pole all the way down. Gonna take a minute to finish, but it'll be good. It'll be good. The reason why that pole is so important is you'll notice with these oxygen masks, they automatically take an athletics hit of -2. So without some additional suit wearing bonuses, they're all going to take a hit to their athletic score, which means they're going to move slower, which means they're going to have more problems getting home in time, etc., etc. But with all these poles here, it'll definitely help out more. I'm actually thinking maybe we should add another oxygen mask tank or dock. That might help. I mean, we don't have to have this crafting station right here. It's just conveniently set there. So let's move it right here. And then we'll have more room for docks. That looks like enough fun. Do definitely want to keep an eye out on the oxygen levels here in this area, though. Wanting to make sure that we're not eating all the oxygen from here. If we do, we might need to add some additional oxygen diffusers. Also keeping a close eye on our algae. We got to go find our source of water to be able to figure out what our source of how we're going to create oxygen from. Create 5 more masks. That should do for our additional stations. And once they are done, we'll have them delivered right up here. And now more dupes will be able to go outside and do some work. Now, for those of you used to the old Atmos suits, the Atmos suits give them kind of environmental protection. The only thing these masks do is give them some oxygen. And something to note, they have a durability. So you'll see this oxygen mask, for instance, is already down to durability of 87%. So you do have to keep making these. They're not infinitely sustainable. Oh, that's right. We need to add the gas thing here. What's the best way to do this with 8? I think we'll just go all the way across once again. Alright, that's flowing much better now. Over on our dupe printer, we actually have a couple of them that I was interested in. Mr. Gossman, or Miss Gossman, not really sure. And Rowan. Rowan here is a great little pilot. Unfortunately, he's got gas. And I really don't want to deal with all that natural gas in the base, so no, you can have a Coke. We're going to keep Gossman here. Gossman is an excellent mechatronics engineer here. We got machinery, we got construction, early bird. So yeah, we're definitely going to go with some beautiful Gossman. Welcome to the crew. And actually, we have a couple of new subs. So we'll start off, Gossman's now going to be known as the Strategy Master. There you go, Strategy Master. Welcome to the crew. Make sure old Strat Master has a space to sleep. They do. And they also... Where are we? Mess tables. Perfect. Oh, we got to make sure that we give old Strategy Master a point, and we'll definitely go in the tinkering. Oh, we got some other down here. Our cooks can definitely have the improved carry. Throw them there. Auto, same thing. There you go, some improved carry. And for Nails, a future mechatronics engineer. Boom. Now we finally have a fully qualified mechatronics engineer, so we'll be able to automate some of our stuff now. Mima, I don't know what else we want to do for you, Mima. You got the basic doctoring, which is all we really cared about because we needed the pills. But now we can throw you into some aesthetic design. Maybe we can start pumping some morale in here. Bubbles, how you working? How you looking, Bubbles? Bubbles is looking good. Do you need a new hat? Yeah, let's give Bubbles the old plumbing hat. Look at you, Bubbles. Stylish. And Bert needs the second dose and improved carry. And Guar, we're still holding off on the critter ranching. Not sure if we want to have Guar do any critter ranching yet. Right now, we're just kind of starvation farming those shine bugs. We're not even farming them. We're just letting them grow and die and, you know, spawn as they might. Then Jordan Sparkman still has an extra. They already have both of their carry. And then Little J. Little J. The hero, little J. All right, I think we're good here. Oh, Strategy Master needs a hat. Into tinkering you go. Now go up to the priorities, and once again, just make sure Strategy Master knows what they are doing. You're doing a little bit of operating. I think you also need to like some building too, don't you? You need to throw that onto nails. Building and operating. Perfect. And then finally, over on the schedule. I think we're going to throw Strategy Master, which actually looks like to be our second nails. Is that a nails as well? I think so. We're going to throw Strategy Master down to Shift 4. They also like the sunlight, so it works. We're also going to move Little J while we have an opportunity. They like the early attributes, +2 all in the morning. Well, Little J's taking the downtime in the morning, and we want to maximize, so we're going to throw them down on Shift 4 for now as well. Beautiful. So we got a little bit of wrong element damage in there, which tells me that we're eating a little bit too much oxygen. So we're going to add another oxygen diffuser up here. Yeah, as you can see all the oxygen we're using. And unfortunately, that's going to really eat up this the load on this wire, isn't it? We might want to upgrade all that wire to the 2000 watt conductive wire. So, yeah, we'll just run it all the way through. And I think that's the last piece. Luckily, we had enough copper already refined out. We'll do another 25 here. I don't like doing a lot of the refinement here at the old rock crusher. It's because, look, you take 100 kilos of copper ore and it only makes 50 kilos of copper. Now, the great thing is it does give you sand, right? That's a good way to get sand, is just by refining things at the rock crusher. But, you know, something to keep an eye out when you're using the metal refinery, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Copper ore, copper. Not so when you're using the rock crusher. All right, looks like the dupes are almost finished with the beautiful fire pole. And as you can see, they're able to scream down here. And really saved us a lot of time outside of the base. So very happy with it. And with that, the last thing I think we will do this episode is throw down that beautiful, beautiful solar power plant. Oh, yes. Now, each one takes 200 glass, so it looks like we actually have enough for 3 of them. Now, in the older days, when you had to put in a giant rocket platforms up here, you had to worry more about space. So people used to rack and stack into some, you know, like pyramid. You know, they'd put one here, here, and then maybe one like right here, right? We don't really have a reason to do all that because we're not going to use the space that we actually have here as is. So let's see what we can do. I don't want to eat up too much of that abyssalite, right? But let's see what we can do here. I think that looks pretty good. And then we'll also, of course, throw some wire. Now, this is going to be the big stuff, eventually the heavy watt wire. For right now, though, we can just use the conductive wiring. And since this is all so cold, this is exactly where we're going to bring our little battery boxes. Now, with solar, you want more capacity. And what that means is because this only, you know, absorbs the solar power during the day, well, at night, it's using all the juice you've used or that you've gathered during the day. So you actually want some jumbo batteries here as your sort of battery box. Now, this is not going to be our permanent battery box, but I think for right now, it will do just fine. And we'll see how many batteries we're able to load and offload during the day-night cycle. You know, there's a good mix because, remember, these batteries are going to generate heat, and that is always a concern. Let me go ahead and finish wiring this up, and then I'll show you what we got. So it is a sad day. All of our shine bugs died. So now we're going to have to do something else with this atomic collider. So we might be collecting some atomic research from space next time. I think if I had to do it over again, I think maybe ranching the shine bugs would be beneficial. If I was in a cold weather biome, the Weezeworts also give out radiation, but don't have any cold weather biomes around here to grab the Weezeworts. Now we may be able to get some in that next colony over. We've also added a little vent shaft to this side of the base. That way all the carbon dioxide junk that comes from up here, namely from this little power area, will have some place to vent, but also some of the other gases and stuff that we may end up producing in here. Chlorine, for instance, does sink, so it'll at least have a place to sink and head down here into our sort of sump area instead of actually going into our base. And the last step to do there is to actually destroy those, deconstruct and dig out those tiles. Perfect. So I just noticed that it's cold enough, and apparently there's a source. There's liquid chlorine. Now that could come in handy. So we're gonna try to mop that up a little bit. Yes. Dropping that into an area that is, you know, filthy, and all of a sudden, guess what? We don't have any more germ problems. All right, the last thing I wanted to show you this episode is we have our solar panel plant up and going. Here's our little makeshift battery box. Plenty cold up in here to keep this going for a little while. And then we have our one large power transformer. This is all wired with 2K wire. Now, I don't know how far the dupes have gotten down. Wow, they've actually completed it. So you can see this top part of the base is actually being supplied by that solar farm. So what we're actually going to do is now connect the two. Now, unfortunately, I don't think we'll have enough copper ore at the time to fill everything out. But as they make more copper ore, we'll fill it in, and we can actually delete or deconstruct all of this. This is going to be all good. So now, basically, our colony will run off that solar plant, and when the energy grid has a small enough amount of power, then these will kick on. So what we'll do is we'll reset these batteries. We'll say, you know what? Hey, when you hit actually 40%. So if those batteries, and in fact, we'll go down to 25%. If the battery box up in solar goes down to 25%, hey, get us back to 80. And that's what they will do. It is just these batteries too. Now, they will fill side by side with those jumbo batteries, but they will kick in when the time is needed. Now, all we have, we have one more area to connect, and that is these two transformers. For now, though, we're going to leave this off the grid, and we'll just put this one unit here on the grid. I don't think it's necessary to have both, but we will see. And I can't think of a better way to end the episode than adding another dupe. Of course, it's a bottomless stomach dupe, but he's got early bird, supplying, and suit wearing. Might make a great pilot one day, and if not even a pilot, still, Turner will be great in those exosuits. So I think we have one more new sub, and it is, I think we're going to go with Jida. I might be mispronouncing it. If I am, please let me know, because I do not want to mispronounce your name. So, hey, welcome to the greenhouse, Jida. With that's all about I have for this episode. It's about time to put in a cut. So we will let the good times roll with some therapeutic digging action. And I hope you had fun. I know I did too. Talk to you soon.